The Gambler by Fyodor DOSTOEVSKY, retold by Catherine Sklerova. Chapter 9. The grandmother was impatient and irritable. Undoubtedly, the roulette drove her crazy. She seemed to be indifferent to everything else. For example, she asked me no questions about people and objects on our way to the casino. I tried to persuade her to return to the hotel, but she didn't appear to hear my words. Potafich and Martha were walking behind us. She turned to them and said angrily, "Why are you following us? We are not going to take you with us every time. Go home." Her servants departed at once. She turned to me with a serious look. "You're all the escort I need," she said to me. At the casino, the grandmother seemed to be expected, because a footman found a free place for us beside the croupier without losing time. The croupiers in the saloon looked at the grandmother as their prey. Then happened what our party had foretold. It happened thus. As soon as we arrived, the grandmother ordered me to stake 200 gulden on zero. Once, twice, thrice, I did so, and zero didn't turn up. "Stake again," she exclaimed. I obeyed again and again. "How many times we have lost?" she asked. "8 times, madam. I tell you that zero may not turn up until night." "Never mind, keep on staking on zero. And also stake 1,000 gulden on red." The red turned up, but zero missed again. We only got our 1,000 gulden back. You see, try zero another 10 times, she cried. Zero didn't turn up for 10 rounds. "Enough, stake 4,000 on red." "But madame, that will be so much to risk. The red may not turn up," I said. She became very angry with me. I had nothing left to do but stake 4,000 gulden as she had directed. "Zero," cried the croupier. At first, the grandmother could not understand the situation. The croupier took her 4,000 gulden with everything else that was lying on the table. The poor old lady began to curse zero as loudly as she could. "It is all your fault. It was you who persuaded to stop staking on zero," she cried to me. "But madam, I only explained the game to you." "Go away, leave me," she cried. I turned to depart. "No, stay. Where are you going? You fool, stay here. Tell me what I ought to do." "I cannot advise you," I said, "because you only blame me when I do so. Tell me what to stake, and I will stake it." "Very well. Stake another 4,000 gulden on red. Don't look at me so. Stake." I staked, and we lost. She told me to stake 4,000 on red again. This time we won, and the grandmother recovered herself a little. I staked another 4,000 on red, and we lost. Again and again we lost. "Madame, you have lost your 12,000 gulden now, and your morning's winnings," I said. "I know that. I will not be calm till I stake another 4,000 gulden on red." "But you have no money with which to do so." "You have just coins in your purse," I said. "There is a money changer's office near the casino, isn't it there? I can have my papers changed." "That is right. Wheel me to the money changer's office immediately. Hurry, hurry." I wheeled her out of the casino quickly. When we turned into the avenue, we came face to face with the whole party. The general, the Greers, and Mademoiselle Blanche. Only Paulina and Mr. Astley were absent. The general walked towards his mother without knowing what to do. "What do you want? I cannot talk you now," said the old lady to her son. "She has lost this morning's winning and her 12,000 gulden." I whispered to the general. Stop her," whispered the general in fear. I tried to do it, but all my attempts were in vain. I said in a whisper, "My dear mother," said the general, "please, let us hire a carriage and go for a drive. There are many lovely places in this town." "Go away with your town," said the grandmother angrily. "I'm tired of you all. Go for a drive as much as you like." The party stood still. Nobody could say a word. She ordered me to wheel her quickly to the money changer's office. I did so. I entered the office and got the securities changed. The calculations were alarming, but the grandmother didn't care about a thing at the moment. I received 12,000 gulden in gold, and also the statement of accounts. I handed it to her silently. I wheeled her to the casino once again. This time I did all I could to persuade the old lady to stake as little as possible, but she was so impatient that nothing could stop her once she had begun to play. I felt very uneasy as I watched her game. Anyway, I decided to hold my tongue and give her no more advice. She was losing her money again and again. Suddenly the Greers appeared in the roulette salon. I realized that all this time he and his companions were standing in the other corner of the saloon. I also noticed that Mademoiselle Blanche was talking with the prince. She seemed to have forgotten the general and his love for her completely. The general vainly tried to attract her attention. Poor general. His face was very pale. He could scarcely follow his mother's play in such distress. Presently Mademoiselle Blanche and the prince left the casino and didn't enter it again. They were gone to have dinner. The general was in despair. He came up to his mother and began begging her to stop the game. Go away, she cried angrily. I was the only one who could stay by her side. Then she ordered me to stake on certain numbers. I staked 200 gulden on several odd numbers and 5 10 gulden pieces on another certain group of numbers. The wheel stopped. Zero, cried the croupier. We had lost it all. An hour later, we had lost all the money we had. Wheel me back to the hotel, cried the grandmother angrily. When we arrived at the hotel, the old lady said to herself, what a stupid fool I am. Then she ordered her servants to pack her luggage as quickly as possible. She decided to return to Moscow without delay. The next train leaves at 9:30, madame, I said. And what is the time now? 8:30. What a pity. But never mind, Alexis Ivanovich, I have lost all my money. All I have now are these 2 banknotes. I left her alone and went out to study of the general. I found the whole party gathered there. I meant that they had already heard the news of the grandmother's sudden departure from Moscow. If her departure would save her property, what would become of the general then? How would he repay his debts to the Greyers? Certainly, Mademoiselle Blanche would never marry the general, but would at once marry the prince or someone else. So they all gathered together in the study. Polina was absent. Presently the door opened and Potapych wheeled the grandmother into the study. Are you talking about me? Cried the grandmother. My losses are none of your business. It is not your money that I have lost, but my own. Nobody said a word. Where is Polina? Call her, Potapych, she said. In 5 minutes, Potapych appeared with Polina. She looked serious. Polina, began the grandmother, I have just heard that my son is going to marry this stupid Frenchwoman, Mademoiselle Blanche. Tell me, is it true? I do not know, grandmother. I think, replied Polina. Do not say any more, interrupted the grandmother. I understand the situation. I always expected something like this from my son. I know all about the telegrams. Oh, they were waiting for my death. The French woman will never marry him without money. However, I am not blaming you, Polina. I was not you who sent those telegrams. I know that you are a good person, yet I'm worried about you. Your mother was my good friend before she died. Well, will you leave everything and come with me to Moscow? I do not know what may become of you. You should not live with these people. My house in Moscow is very large. You can occupy a whole floor if you wish. Will you come with me? Are you going to depart at once? Asked Polina. Of course, replied the old lady. Today I have spent all my money at that cursed roulette. I'm going to depart on the next train. Will you come with me? Grandmother, said Polina, I'm very grateful to you for your invitation. I want to come with you, but there are some important reasons why I cannot depart at once. Give me a couple of weeks to decide whether. That means you're not coming, asked the grandmother. I want to come, but I cannot depart now. I wish you well, Polina, she said. Yet I know the reason why you will not come. The Frenchman will never bring you any good. Polina blushed. Go to your room then. Goodbye, said the grandmother to Polina. But let me stay with you a little longer, said Polina. No, you need to stay here, Polina. Do not bother me. You and all of them have tired me out. Polina tried to kiss the grandmother's hand, but the old lady withdrew it and kissed the girl on the cheek. As Polina passed me, she gave me a quick glance and then left the study. And goodbye to you, Alexis Ivanovich. I think you must be tired of me. Take this 500 gulden for yourself. Thank you, madam, but I cannot accept this money. Nonsense. Come and take it. I didn't dare to refuse the money further. If, when in Moscow, you have no place to stay, come and see me. I will be glad to see you there. I can help you find some work in Moscow. Thank you, madam. It is very kind of you. Now, Potapych, wheel me to my room, ordered the old lady to her servant. She left the room. I went to my room as well. I didn't want to stay with the general and his companions. I lay in my bed for a few hours. So the crisis had come. I needed time to think over everything. I would talk to Polina tomorrow. Oh, the Frenchman, so it was true. But how could it be so? Polina was in love with him. What a combination. Suddenly I heard a knock at the door. I opened and saw Potapych awaiting me. My mistress wants to see you, he said. Really? But she will depart soon. The train leaves in 10 minutes. She is uneasy. She cannot depart today. Come quickly, sir. I went to her suite at once. She was not there. I found her downstairs in the corridor. She held money in her hands. Alexis Ivanovich, I cannot be calm. Convey me to the casino and ask me no questions. I stood stupefied for a moment. I will not go with you, madam, I said. I want neither to witness nor join your play. Besides, I want to return you your 500 gulden. Here, take it. Goodbye. I bowed and went upstairs to my room. What a fool, she cried after me. Very well then. Potapych, you must come with me. Carry me to the casino quickly. It was now growing late. I stayed in my room for 3 hours, close to midnight. I saw Potafich in the corridor and asked him how the grandmother's play had ended. She lost all her money, which she had got by selling one of her properties in Russia. A young Pole directed her game. He knew the Russian language. They were able to understand one another very well. She abused him the whole time and compared him to me. He was robbing her money during the whole game. The poor old lady couldn't notice anything. She caught him twice at it. On one occasion, she even pulled his hair. The bystanders laughed at her for a long time. After losing all her money, she returned in the hotel, drank some water, and went to bed. She was so tired that she fell asleep at once. Oh God, what this roulette has done to her. Oh, my own Moscow. I miss my native home. Why are we not at home there in Moscow? Such a garden, and flowers as you could never see here. And fresh air and apple trees, such a beautiful scene to look at.